Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video, I just wanted to talk about the HasLab again one more time before it ends so that I can get that view count up. No, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference at this point in terms of views, but I did want to talk about it for a couple of reasons. The first reason is I guess I was wrong. When I did my first video, I said there's lots of stuff wrong with this figure, but I think it's not that expensive that most people are probably still going to want to buy it. That's what I was thinking at the time. Marvel Legends collectors don't seem to pay that much attention to the price point in terms of value per dollar. You're not getting much for your money from Hasbro like 90% of the time. So I figured in this case, being that it is a 2-foot-tall giant man, people aren't going to balk at the price too much. They're just going to go ahead and pay it because $200 is a lot for a Hasbro product, don't get me wrong, but it's not earth-shattering in terms of the amount of money people spend on collecting. I mean, a wave of Marvel Legends is getting up to that price, so I didn't think this was going to be that big of a deal. But apparently, I need to give the Marvel Legends community, and I say this with a lot of reservation, but I need to give the Hasbro Marvel Legends community more credit. And I don't think it's the Hasbros. I think those people are still down for whatever with Hasbro, always. But I think the community at large is starting to turn around a little bit, and they're starting to say, hey, you're not giving me enough for my money. Because as of the time of filming, let me look at this. There are 4 days, 12 hours, and 31 minutes remaining in the crowdfunding thing, and it's just over 60%. It's 63% funded. They're looking for 10 grand, or 10,000 backers, I mean, and there are 6,363. So just over 63% funded with only a couple of days left, really, a few days left. And it's possible that it still gets backed. It is possible. Some people, this is the second thing I wanted to talk about, so we'll just touch on this real quick. Some people wait to see, is it going to get backed? If so, then I will also back it. I have to say, that's not a good strategy. Just generally speaking for these sorts of things. I'm doing that for this guy because I don't personally care if it gets funded at all. I don't care. It doesn't look good enough to me. However, if it does get funded, as a reviewer, I need to have one. So if it gets backed, I'm going to buy one. But I'm not helping it get backed prior to that because I don't think it's worth the price. Personally, I think it's not a good enough sculpt. It's not a good enough set of engineering, articulation, that kind of thing. I don't like it enough. I think it's overpriced, and I don't like the whole HasLab thing. So I'm not backing it unless I need to review it. But for those of you who do like it, but you're not backing it until it gets backed, that's not a good plan. For this, for Kickstarters, for anything. Because that mentality means people just keep not backing it and then it doesn't get funded. Even though they wanted to back it. It doesn't make sense. You don't get charged until it gets backed, or until it gets fully... What do they call it? I guess fully backed. Whatever. Until it's successful, you don't get charged anyway. So if you're interested in it, if you think it's good, you should back it. Anything, not just this one, but any sort of crowdfunding thing. Waiting until it gets backed or deciding if it's going to be successful or not, and that backing it based on that doesn't make any sense. If you want it, if you think it's good, back it as soon as you think it's good. If everyone does that, more things will probably get funded, because other times, if people are all waiting to see if it gets fully funded before they back it, then it's just going to not get done potentially, even though there's enough people to do it. Does that make sense? It's not a good strategy. It serves nobody. Now, in this case, I'm guessing there are other people who are like, yeah, if it gets made, I want one, but I don't really want it. In which case, that's fine. Then don't back it until it gets backed, and that'll probably lead to it not getting fully funded, and it won't get made, and that'll show Hasbro how people feel about their products. Alright, hopefully that makes sense to everybody. If it doesn't, leave a comment, and I'll try to explain myself more directly to you based on your question. Okay, so back to the Giant Man HasLab. One of the reasons I'm not backing it is yesterday, Dwight... I keep thinking his name's not Dwight, but it's definitely Dwight. I don't know why I keep thinking it's not. I'm losing my mind here. Anyway, he posted a thing from New York Comic Con, a picture of Giant Man from behind. Alright, and it showed his neck articulation, which is a giant lollipop. It's a HasLab, guys. It's a 2-foot-tall Giant Man, obviously fully sculpted for this project. It's not reused parts, and it has a giant lollipop. Huge gaping hole in the back of the neck. And so I took that image, I posted it on my Instagram. I said, hey, there's no reason a HasLab should have Lollipop syndrome. And then I tagged him in a comment saying, is this gonna get changed or what? I tagged Dwight so that he could respond. I wasn't rude or anything. I just said, hey, is this gonna change, or maybe the head's not on all the way, or what's going on, basically? No response. As of filming, it's been about 24 hours. No response at all. 600 people have interacted at least with the post, which I know isn't a ton. I don't exactly use Instagram a lot or most social media, but it's enough that people are seeing it. People want answers, and I tagged the guy who can give them, and he's not responded yet. So, okay, maybe he's just busy, but either way, I didn't get my question answered. It's a reasonable question, and for a project of this price point, this size, no pun intended, there's no reason for things like a giant gappy holy neck. So that's the main reason why I'm not backing it. They just don't care, as far as I can tell. Either they don't know enough about designing action figures, or they don't care, or both. But there's no way I'm spending $200 for a figure that has a giant gap in the neck, and it probably still doesn't work that well. And somebody commented, hey, he said in an interview with Shartimus that they're still, I think it was, maybe I'm combining two different comments, but either way, he said that they're still adjusting stuff. Things will be tweaked. Well, okay, that makes sense. It's not in production yet, so that's true, I'm sure, but what? What is being tweaked? What is being changed? Because you're trying to get us to give you money before it's made, so tell us what you're doing. See, to me, that's just corporate speak for don't ask questions, we're not going to answer them. Things are being tweaked. Okay, well, you know what? So is my wallet. I'm tweaking it away from funding because I don't know what I'm buying. If that neck's not going to be like that, we should know. But they can't tell us that because they either don't know or aren't going to change it. So things like that, that's just an example. It's just not good enough. And I did hear, I think this was a separate comment, that Dwight told somebody that the neck doesn't have enough range right now to look up. So they're going to cut out a gap, a hole in the back of the neck like they did on that one Spider-Man figure. It doesn't work, 1. 2, it's really ugly. 3, that's not how you do a double ball peg. So even on these crowdfunded HasLab projects, they can't figure out how to do a double ball peg for a neck? No, not getting my money. That's my take on it. And as far as I can tell, based on the fact that there are only 4 days left and only 60%, it's only 60% funded, most people are saying, you're not getting my money, it's not good enough. Interchangeable faceplates, okay, good enough idea, except the faces all suck, and they don't even match the eyebrows for the cowl, right? It's just, oh, and also the tears suck. Like, everything sucks about this, generally speaking, given that it's a HasLab crowdfunded thing. If this was just a Pulse exclusive, no big deal. And it should have been. It should have been a Pulse exclusive. In fact, I think anything that's not some kind of extraordinarily out of the box sort of thing should just be Pulse exclusive. Screw the crowdfunding from Hasbro, the biggest toy company on the planet. No, you take your lumps if you make something that people don't want to buy. This crowdfunding thing is getting nonsense if you ask me. But all of that aside, this looks like it's not getting backed. So I was wrong about it. I thought people were going to back it for sure. I'm glad that they're not. Not because I don't want it to reach its goal. I don't care. If it does, fine. If it doesn't, fine. That means that people like it or they don't. That's fine. But I'm glad that it's not, because that means people aren't just taking whatever Hasbro's giving. They're not just consuming content, saying thank you, and waiting for the next amount of content, to loosely paraphrase an old meme. So that's a good thing, generally speaking. As far as the project goes, for those of you who wanted it, I'm sorry if it doesn't get backed. That sucks, but blame Hasbro, not the people that aren't backing it. That's how that works. All right, that's all I wanted to say. We talked about it a little bit more. Let me know what you guys think. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you probably should. I have new videos every day but Wednesday, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.